Welcome back to The Explainer. Today, we're going to dig into the design behind those tech products we just can't seem to put down. What makes them so irresistible? Let's find out.
Okay, get this number. 150. That's how many times some tech insiders believe we check our phones every single day. That's not just a habit, right? For a lot of us, it's more like a compulsion. We are basically hooked.
So, how do they do it? How do they get us so hooked? Is it just some happy accident? No way. It's totally by design. We're going to break down this framework from author Nir Eyal, which uncovers the hidden psychology behind all those products that we just can't stop using. So, what exactly is a habit? Well, it's just stuff we do automatically, right? Without really thinking about it. And here's the thing. Today, our digital habits, they're being engineered. The companies that nail this don't just get our attention for a second, they actually change our behavior. And that gives them a huge, huge advantage. And think about it for a second. That little pang of loneliness hits. What's the first app you open? You're a little bored. Where do your thumbs automatically go? Got a random question? You know exactly where you're going to type it. See, the first-to-mind solution always wins. And that win? It's no accident. All right, so this framework Eyal talks about is called the hook model. It's a surprisingly simple but super powerful four-step process that companies use to basically manufacture desire and lock in those habits. So here's how the cycle works. First, you've got a trigger. That's the spark that leads you to an action, the simplest thing you can possibly do to get a reward. Then, and this is the magic part, you get a variable reward, which is what keeps you craving more. And finally, you make a small investment, which is what loads the next trigger and keeps the whole cycle going. Okay, so these four steps, they work together to create this really powerful, continuous loop. To see exactly how this plays out in the real world, let's follow a user we'll call Barbara and see how a simple little discovery turns into a full-blown habit. So every single hook kicks off with a trigger. You have your external triggers, right? The little pings, the pop-ups, the notifications on your screen. But here's the key. The real goal for these companies is to attach their product to an internal trigger. We're talking about feelings, boredom, loneliness, fear, uncertainty. That's the itch the product is really trying to scratch. Okay, so a trigger gives us a cue, but what makes us actually do the thing? Well, this is where something called the Fogg behavior model comes in. It's a simple formula. Behavior equals motivation plus ability plus a trigger. You need all three of those things at the same time for the action to happen. If you're missing even one, nope, it's not going to happen. Now, you could try to pump up someone's motivation, but that's hard. The easiest, most reliable way to get someone to do something, make it simpler. Boost their ability. That means reducing the time it takes, the money it costs, the physical effort, even the mental energy, the brain cycles it takes to do it. The easier, the better. So let's jump back to Barbara. She's scrolling, she sees a cool photo on her feed. Boom, that's the external trigger. And what's the action required? It's so simple, it's almost automatic. Just a single click. And just like that, with almost zero thought, she's gone from trigger to action. And now for the reward. When Barbara lands on Pinterest, she doesn't just get one thing, she gets a variable reward. It's this endless, unpredictable waterfall of cool stuff. And that unpredictability, that's what's so powerful. It hijacks our brain's reward system and makes us crave more. Eyal breaks these down into three types. Rewards of the tribe, think likes and comments. Rewards of the hunt, finding new information. And rewards of the self, that feeling of getting better at something. Okay, now for the final step of the hook, and this one is brilliant. It's called investment, and it taps into this funny little psychological quirk known as the IKEA effect. You know how you feel just a little bit more proud of that bookshelf you spent hours putting together yourself? It's that. The more effort we put into something, the more we value it. And that's why investment is such a game changer. It builds commitment. When we invest our time, our data, our connections into a service, it becomes more valuable to us. We're just less likely to leave. Just look at this classic example from Evernote. The longer people used it and stored their notes, their investments, the more likely they were to actually pay for it. The service became essential because of what they put into it. So, back to Barbara, she starts pinning things she likes, following other people. Every single one of those actions is a small investment. And it does two really important things. First, it makes the app better for her next time, because now her feed is customized. And second, it loads the next trigger. The moment someone repins her stuff, she gets a notification, and bam, she's pulled right back into the start of the loop.
So, as you can see, this model is unbelievably powerful. I mean, knowing how to build habits, it's like a superpower. And with great power, well, you know the rest. It forces us to ask some really important ethical questions about responsibility, about influence, and yeah, about manipulation.
To help sort through this, EL created what he calls the manipulation matrix. It's pretty straightforward. It just asks two key questions. One, does this product actually make the user's life better? And two, do I, the creator, actually use it myself? Your answers place you somewhere on this grid, and it tells you a lot about the kind of thing you're making. So, where do you want to be? According to EAL, the goal is to be a facilitator. That means you're building a product that you personally use and that you genuinely believe makes people's lives better. And this isn't just some moral high ground. It's actually a huge strategic advantage. Why? Because facilitators really truly understand the problem they're solving, which means they're in the best possible position to build a healthy habit. Look, knowing this stuff really is a superpower. Once you see it, you can't unsee it. You'll start noticing these hooks everywhere, quietly shaping what you do every day. So that leaves a big question, not just for the people building these products, but for all of us. How will you use this knowledge? And maybe more importantly, which hooks will you let into your life?